Hi, my name is Linda Bark. I am the founder and CEO of Wisdom of the Whole Coaching Academy. And with me today, I have Licia Berry. And we are here to talk with you about something that really lights both of us up. It's really about behavior patterns and even looking at it through 4 different lenses to look at inherited behavior patterns. So let me just introduce you to Licia a second, and then we'll go back to our agenda. So Licia, so glad you're here with me.
Hey, Linda. Hey, everybody. I'm Licia Berry, a recent faculty addition to the Wisdom of the Whole Coaching Academy. I'm so super excited about that. In my world, I'm the creator and the founder of the Daughters of Earth Project and the Leading by Being Women's Leadership Institute, which is an organization that mentors introspective women leaders in a holistic way. And I'm here super excited to lend some knowledge and expertise around 2 of the 4 lenses that we are talking about through the Inherited Behavior Patterns course.
Right. So we're going to look at inherited behaviors through these 4 lenses. First is ancestral. So Alicia's going to take the lead on that. Then we're going to talk about behavior patterns looking at parts integration, which is a whole subject in and of itself. And the third way is going to be cognitive behavior therapy. I'm going to do those 2 as kind of the lead, and then Licia's going to talk to us about neurobiology, which is so exciting to me, especially because finally we get validation for all these things that we've known at some level.
Yeah.
So,
and coming at it from 4 different approaches, 4 different lenses, is really bringing a nice whole wisdom of the whole a way of looking at these things to really give several ways into the understanding of inherited behavior patterns. So yes, I'm going to be talking about the ancestral aspect of inherited behavior patterns. I'm going to be bringing in two aspects of this. I'm going to be talking about the science that we have around the proof that we actually do inherit memory and experience and even trauma in our ancestral lineage. And then the indigenous aspect of that, which is the understanding that we are all connected, that our ancestors are alive and well within us and all around us, in fact, and that there is medicine there. There is a way of accessing ancestral memory and ancestral experience in a way that is holistic, organic, sustainable, in which we can actually transform patterning, backed up again by the sciences, which is super exciting for me. One thing that was very interesting in the last couple of years was a study that was done by Emory University, in which lab mice were exposed to the scent of a cherry blossom. And in this experiment, the scientists gave an electric shock to the mice when they smelled the cherry blossom, and did that on a repeated basis. And of course, the mice developed a trauma response, in response to the shock. And then eventually the scientists removed the shock and just introduced the scent of a cherry blossom, and the mice went into a trauma response without even being shocked, which of course is, normal. We can understand how that can happen in the present moment in this, body. But what was so interesting was that in subsequent generations descended from those very mice, that they measured up to 14 generations of the offspring of those mice having the same trauma response when introduced to the smell of the cherry blossom with no shock. And these were male mice. So this was passed down through the Y chromosome, which is a very interesting new field of study right now. This is kind of the hot debate at the moment, is, are these memories passed down through the mother or the father? How does that work? And so this is kind of an interesting thing to be keeping an eye on, but in any case, what that does is prove what indigenous understanding has been forever, which is that we do indeed need to think about our descendants in every consequence and every choice that we make, and that it's now measurable in a scientific laboratory that 14 generations are impacted by the experience and or trauma of their ancestors. So it sort of gives you this global awareness all of a sudden, sort of what has been known in hearsay and folklore, and maybe not so much in mainstream culture, that there's actually something to back this up. And how wonderful that we have an opportunity as a result of that to, if we are being kind of dogged by ancestral patterns, we can't figure out why we keep doing these things. We might be sabotaging ourselves, or we might be, it may just be some annoying little pattern that we just can't stand about ourselves, or like procrastination, for example. Or it may be that there's something really a big deal, like maybe you had great grandparents that survived the Holocaust, or in the Depression, or somebody in your history had some very significant, difficult, traumatic experience that could actually be impacting your behavior. And how wonderful that we can actually have proof of that and actually go in and actually shift it, transform it, and at the same time be so honoring and grateful of how many wonderful aspects of our ancestral lineage we have inherited, which vastly outweigh any negatives. The fact that we are here means that there are more strengths than weaknesses. So I'm super excited to be bringing this piece of the puzzle, and I'm looking really forward to this class.
Yeah, Licia, when you talk about it, the thing that I've really learned from you already is this idea that, okay, so we know this, and I'm always into like, well, so what, so how can we use that? How can we use that information then to, shift out of patterns that no longer serve our lineage, and personally, I've done some work with, my family, and kind of holding hands, intergenerational, and shifting patterns. And it's so, I don't know how much better it could get, tell you the truth, because not only are we feeling like, wow, really changing this for ourselves, but it's, oh my gosh, now I can say we're changing it for 14 generations to come.
Exactly. And for those of us who are holistic thinkers, who really are seeking to shift the kind of common paradigm into a more holistic viewpoint, getting it in our body, really getting it, that we are connected to the previous generations and the ones that are coming, the ones we aren't even, but the ones that aren't born yet, the ones we can't even see, that is a way of really getting how very important we are, that we are a link in a very precious chain. And we really are all connected. We really are all, family, and we really all are one. And it's just a really big shift to begin to see this way. And of course, it's delicious for the left brain parts of us that are like need some of that evidence, need the science,
Yes, exactly.
But it's a felt, once you kind of drop into this awareness and do the experience that we're going to be having in the class, then it's a felt response. It's a felt experience of, oh my gosh, I really am interconnected, with all of these ancestors. And it's a wonderful feeling to realize that you really have the best of the love of thousands that brought you here.
And the other thing that I think of is that when I'm doing hard work, and when my clients are doing some hard work, that we're not just doing it for ourselves, but that even if it isn't in the family, excuse me, per se, that we're really changing the morphic field as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the more of us that are interested in doing that through an interconnected way, recognizing that feeling of interconnection, the better. So the bigger the wave. So I'm looking so forward to it. I can't wait to hear about the second lens, which we'll get in the next video. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
We'll see you guys there.